Hello, I'm Tyler Ferrero, and welcome to the 5th edition of Fantasy Talk. And this week, we'll be talking about fantasy football for Week 10 of the NFL season. And to start things off, I'll be talking about my sleeper picks for Week 10. And my first sleeper pick is running back Mike James for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. And last week, James had a breakthrough performance going up against one of the stingiest defenses in the NFL in the Seattle Seahawks. And he even threw a touchdown pass. And this week, he's going up against a weak run defense in the Miami Dolphins. And he's owned in only 18.3% of ESPN fantasy leagues. And my second sleeper pick is running back Rashad Jennings for the Oakland Raiders. And last week, Jennings had 23 fantasy points after he replaced starting running back Darren McFadden. And Jennings is only owned in 19% of ESPN fantasy leagues. So if you own Darren McFadden or any other running back who's injured or who is on a bye week, I'd consider picking Jennings up this week and starting him. And for my third sleeper pick, I have wide receiver Keenan Allen for the San Diego Chargers. And my third sleeper pick is rookie wide receiver Keenan Allen for the San Diego Chargers. And Allen is not well known, but he is the Chargers' top receiver. And this week they're going up against a weak pass defense in the Denver Broncos, and expect them to pass a lot as the Broncos will score a lot of points, so the Chargers will have to keep up with them. And Allen is owned in 57.5% of ESPN fantasy leagues. So if you need help at receiver, try picking him up if he's still available. And that wraps it up for the sleeper part of my podcast. And now I'll be moving on to the love and hate segment, where I talk about the players who I feel will play very well this week, or very poorly. And the first player I love this week is running back Eddie Lacy for the Green Bay Packers. And Lacy is also a rookie, but for the past 5 weeks, he has had the most touches in the NFL, and expect the same. As starting quarterback Aaron Rodgers is injured, and now Seneca Wallace will be replacing him. So the Packers will continue to run the ball, and expect Lacy to continue thriving. And the second player I love this week is CJ Spiller, running back for the Buffalo Bills. And after coming off an ankle injury, Spiller played very well last week and expected to continue as he's going up against the Pittsburgh Steelers, who have allowed the 6th most fantasy points to running backs this year. And don't forget, the Bills also like to run the ball a lot. And for the third and final player I love this week is wide receiver Pierre Garçon for the Washington Redskins. And Garçon is the Washington Redskins' #1 receiver, and he's also RG3's #1 target, and expect him to continue his career best year as he's going up against the weak Minnesota Vikings secondary. And now it's time for the hate segment, where I talk about the players who I feel will play very poorly this week. And the first player I hate is quarterback Matt Ryan for the Atlanta Falcons. And Ryan's top receivers have been injured this year. And to top things off, he's going up against probably the best secondary in the NFL in the Seattle Seahawks. So expect him to continue his poor play, as last week he threw 3 interceptions against the Carolina Panthers. And the second player I hate this week is Ray Rice, running back for the Baltimore Ravens. And Rice has had an injury-riddled year, and that has contributed to his poor play. And it won't help him that he is going up against the Cincinnati Bengals, who have one of the stingiest run defenses in the NFL. And for my third and final player I hate this week is wide receiver Jordy Nelson for the Green Bay Packers. And even though Nelson has been a top fantasy wide receiver all year, his superstar quarterback Aaron Rodgers got injured last week with a broken collarbone, and Seneca Wallace has replaced him, so expect his production to decrease. So that wraps up the 5th edition of Fantasy Talk. I'm Tyler Ferrero, and I'd like to thank you for watching, and I hope you tune in next time.